The third document is the EIA, which has been the report which has been conducted by Singapore Corporation Enterprise. I'm laying a copy of the executive summary. The main document is 916 pages, and I made a request to Metro Express to consider the possibility of laying it on the table of the National Assembly.
Thank the Honourable Minister. May I ask the Honourable Minister, now that we have technology, to put the 960 pages on the website of the Metro Express, and it can be done immediately. Can you do that, please?
I have said I have made a request to Metro Express board about that particular document.
Yes, you're going to, or are you going to ask for their permission to put it on the website? I'm asking you, will you put it on the website?
I have made a request to the board, and the board will make a final decision. But I'm laying a copy of the executive summary, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, the House and the nation expects a full copy of the EIA study paid for by public money, not by Larsen Toubro, by public money, to be published, and we hope that it can be done today, Madam Speaker, if at all possible. Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister concerning the incident in Van der Mesch. Now, every engineer knows that the only way to be able to tell where underground pipes are is to use what is called a ground-penetrating radar. My information is that on the ground of cost, because it would cost 13 million rupees, Larsen and Toubro have not used that technology. They are not using ground penetration radar. What has happened at Roland Armour for CWA, WMA is happening now as we speak, will happen again and again unless these stupid cost-cutting measures are stopped and government...
Please, are you providing information or are you digging information from the Honourable Minister, please?
I will be shorter, Madam. Can you ask Larsen Toubro immediately to use latest technology so that this sort of incident does not repeat itself all around the trajet?
Madam Speaker, Larsen Toubro is an international company of repute. They have done a number of very sophisticated projects. From what I have been told is that that particular pipe was at 7 meters. That was at 7 meters. And I have been told that, in fact, this has been used for identification and mapping of the utilities.
Madam Speaker, it is unheard of for such major incidents to happen. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I'm going to ask the Honourable Minister, what comfort, what can he give to the population of these regions that, in fact, this sort of incident will not keep on recurring for the next 3-4 years?
Madam Speaker, I thank the Honourable Leader of the Opposition for asking that question. We have had 140 piles which have been dug. Yes. And this incident occurred at the 139th pile. Yes, it is. I agree. It is one incident which should not have happened in spite of all the precautions. What I have asked, in fact, and I thank him for this question, I have asked the rights, Larsen and Toubro, SCE and Metro Express to re-examine the construction technology where required to avoid recurrence as far as possible. I think you are right, because such incidents do cause a lot of, in fact, we had such a big goodwill. This project was going on so well. And we were working on 32 sites, Madam. I have mentioned that we have excavated 400,000 meter cube of earth. And there are now, they are telling me that there are 3 levels of assurance, L&T, rights, and Metro Express and SC. But I have written, what I'm saying, I'm going to repeat it, Madam Speaker. And I thank the Leader of the Opposition for this. I have requested rights, SC, L&T to re-examine the construction methodology where required to avoid recurrence as far as possible. And I think the most important thing is the mapping of utilities. We should know exactly if some areas have to be revisited, they will be revisited, Madam Speaker.
Speaker, the Honourable Minister is contradicting himself. He says he has the technology to map, and then he says, I've asked them to map. I'm going to ask the Honourable Minister now about this. A communiqué was issued on 30th October by the Ministry of Health, is still valid as far as I can see, to request that everyone in Rosil and Beaubassin, they boil water because the water is unsafe. Can you tell us now whether the water is still unsafe in the whole of Beaubassin-Rosil, and what are you going to do? When can we expect the water to be drinkable?
From what I've understood from my honourable colleague, that this was a precaution. And today's answers, which have been submitted to me by the Deputy Prime Minister, says this. The results show that the treated water and water distributed throughout Port Louis network fully complies with the drinking water standards, and the Pi water treatment plant is a sophisticated plant capable of treating all types of water.
We're not talking about Pi, we're talking about Beaubassin-Rosil, which is far upstream from Pi. We're talking about Beaubassin-Rosil, not Pi. Pi water treatment plant is in Pi. Yes, you answered also for Pi treatment. I'm going to ask the Honourable Minister whether in fact he is aware that this is still ongoing, and therefore why the Minister of Health haven't removed this communiqué. And secondly, is it because 50% of the raw sewage is still, as we speak, and I visited the site only 2 days ago, is still, as we speak, being flowing into the groundwater of Beaubassin-Rosil, and anyone can go there and take a picture and put it on the...
I think that 50% of the sewage is still on the water. This is not true. And as regards to why this has not been removed, my honourable colleague I asked the question to him. It is as a precaution.
What is the percentage of sewage water? And anybody can go and see the pipe is still broken and still overflowing. What is the percentage of raw sewage water that is currently, as we speak, going to the groundwater of Rosil? Please tell us.
I need a specific answer to this question, but from the information which has been given to me, that this is not the case. No, the precaution is it's a precaution.
You mentioned the tests just now. Are you telling us that CWA or whoever does bacteriological tests, which I'm sure they do, but do they also do chemical tests to test whether there are the elements cancerigènes which are in these waters due to the treatment? That is a fact also. Can you give the assurance to the House that you're also carrying out chemical tests? I'm happy if it is. You're risking a bit of paper. I'm happy if it is. Are you carrying out chemical tests? And please let us have a copy of the results.
Well, I have the results which have been given to me and the latest analysis which was given. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, that was on Friday, gave the insurance to the House of what has happened. Now, as regards to chemical testing, I don't have the answer. Okay, I will request the answer from the CWA.
Not the bacteriological, but the chemical testing, in particular for trihalomethane, which is a highly dangerous element which causes cancer. So I would like the Honourable Minister to tell the House a little bit later on whether the Deputy Prime Minister has kindly accepted to do this test as well before issuing his statement, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, now let's look at the houses that were in fact affected. There was fecal matter everywhere. I've been to see these houses. They tell me, Madam Speaker, that nobody has come. Apart, maybe they gave them some fresh air freshener, as you said. Nobody has come from Larsen Toubro Metro Express to clean their grounds, clean their terraces, because the sewers have overflown and thrown all this rubbish, fecal matter everywhere in Rosil.
I have said that all the measures, first of all, I would like to say that there is no overflow. This has been pointed to me. Second, I would like to say that also that these are reports for chemical examination of water and wastewater. Third, yes, as regards to what we've been saying that nobody came to see the inhabitant, this is not true, because the whole team have been working 24 hours a day, and they have been, be it rights, be it Metro Express, be it wastewater, be it the mayor of Beaubassin-Rosil, everybody has, this area has been under scrutiny for 24 hours, Madam Speaker. I requested personally for the fire services to clean the station. They have.
They haven't done anything, and the people are going to sue you. I'll let you know that they will take you to court. Madam Speaker, just finishing with Beaubassin for a moment. Canal Langley has been destroyed right for kilometers, right through to Berkeley. As you are aware, you may be aware. The cyclone season has started a few days ago. You are putting the whole population in danger. Some time ago, you told us that there was going to be designed. A few weeks ago, you told us that there was going to be a new design. Where is the design for the new flood drains in Beaubassin and Rosehill, please?
Well, the design have already been made, and we are working according to a schedule of works, Madam Speaker.
What will happen if tomorrow there's a big flood? Where is your schedule? People will look at the schedule, they will have water in their houses.
Madam Speaker, we have the drains and they have a schedule of works, and I have asked them, in fact, to see to it. This drainage problem is not only with Metro. It's a drainage problem which pertains to the NDU, to the municipality, and Larsen Toubro is working with the NDU and the municipality to see to it that all the drains are being treated.
Mr. Speaker, I grew up in Vanderbilt Street. There always was a drain, Canal Langley, always there, right through. That has disappeared. This is not a thing for NDU. What will happen if tomorrow there's a flood in all this region?
The drain which has disappeared, Madam Speaker, we have shifted it.
No.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, the minister doesn't know what he's saying. There's no drain. No drain. I will take pictures. There's no drain. It will annoy you on Facebook, but I will take pictures and I will show you. Madam Speaker, last week, Catherbourne, on Saturday, all the MPs were there. We were invited by Force Vive de Belle-Rose to come and discuss the Metro Express. Le grand absent, the ministry, Metro Express, Larsen Toubro, etc., etc. Whereas they are being paid huge amounts from public funds, Madam Speaker. And this despite the assurance that there will be transparency. Why were you people absent from last week's meeting?
As for the drains, the information I have that drains are being constructed as part of the alignment, and it's ongoing exercise. Now, Madam Speaker, there was this letter from Force Vive of Catherbourne. There were the honourable member, the leader of the opposition. There was the honourable member Ramano also was there. There was another member who was there. There was, I think, Dr. Arvind Dulel was there. I have said in this House that when it comes to Catherbourne, I will agree to Force Vive being part of a team which is going to implement the project. We were requested to come to a meeting, and I sent a letter. I explained, give us all your worries and all your constraints. We have to come with answers, Madam Speaker. No, listen. No, you can't have. Let me give you an extent of the problem. There were 100 encroachments between Saint-Jean and Catherbourne. We have to deal with each encroachment, and we have been able to save all of them, Madam Speaker. When you go to a Force Vive and you have a meeting with people, you need to have answers to their queries. We are having all the answers to the queries, and I am coming, and I reiterate my invitation that we need Force Vive to help us. But we need Force Vive to help us make the project happen, and not Force Vive to destroy the project. This is, but yes, I totally agree with you. You have said that. Now, Catherbourne, Madam Speaker, in the former project, which was costing 37 billion rupees, what was decided for Catherbourne? That you had 2 lanes of traffic. And there have always been a question whether the former project was on pile or was at grade. Now let me just ask one question. We are doing, I think we have about 16 piles around Place Margéau. And all the hassle we are having. Just imagine what we would have had to do if you were to do piles from Saint-Jean to Catherbourne. Now, Madam Speaker, what I'm saying is that we want the project to be implemented. I can totally understand the constraints people are going to have, the problems they are going to have. Just imagine that all those walls, the retaining walls in Catherbourne, they were encroaching on the alignment. These are the answers that people need, Madam Speaker.
So that's why he didn't attend. And it's going on for minutes and minutes and minutes about walls and falling and all that.
And I wish to draw your attention also that you have only 2 more minutes to go.
We are working on the mapping of utilities. We are considering the alignment. No, we are considering a new traffic system with entry at Hillcrest so that we re-engineer the whole traffic in Quatre-Bornes. We need these answers, Madam Speaker.
Go on.
Madam Speaker, in a response to
Honorable Bhagwan. Honorable Bhagwan.
B493.
It is at Honorable Bhagwan. It's the 3rd time that I'm calling you to order. From a sitting position, it is out of order to intervene. Honorable Bhagwan, don't you know the standing orders that from a sitting position it is out of order to intervene? Honorable Bhagwan, please. No cross-talking. I'm trying to put some order in the House. Honorable Bhagwan. Honorable Bhagwan, you seem to ignore the Speaker. You cannot. I have told you that from a sitting position it is out of order to make interruptions in the House. But I will put order in the House. But you've ignored what I'm saying. For 3 times I've called you to order, you're ignoring. So but then you see what happens when there are interruptions in the House. You've got 1 more minute to go now.
Questions, Madam Speaker, with your permission.
No,
Firstly, I'd like to ask the Honourable, just two.
One, because
Madam Speaker.
15:33,
What?
time is already over.
Sorry?
So I'll give you your last question. I grant that, and that is extension time that I'm giving to you. Extension time.
What you said. So I didn't hear what you said.
I'm giving you extension time
Okay,
for
thank you.
your last question so that the Minister may reply to your last question, please.
I have 2 questions. One is of very great importance to children in the region. If you allow me, I just have the 2 questions.
But don't make statements.
I am talking
Just
to you.
be quick. I give you 2 minutes.
Okay. Madam Speaker, well, it depends on his answer also. Madam Speaker, the first one is in reply 4B493. This is what the Honourable Bodha said on the traffic situation in Quatre-Bornes. It's going to be chaotic. And this is what he said. And we have to plan for it. Can we now have the plan that you have give us for Quatre-Bornes, which you yourself say is chaotic, because the tram is going to intersect with about 25 roads as major arteries.
The plan is being implemented, Madam Speaker, with the first phase is the Hillcrest entry into Quatre-Bornes on 2 lanes. So we are going to enter Quatre-Bornes by the Hillcrest over the motorway to Sudnat, and we are going to exit Quatre-Bornes via what is today the main road towards Saint-Jean. And we are working now on how to connect these 2 main arteries.
Last question.
Yeah, but the question was on the intersections between the Metro Express
but you're
and the
losing
artery.
time also.
This is the last question, Madam Speaker. I went myself to the Van der Mesch and to Berkeley. The security is appalling, Madam Speaker. Now, we heard last week or the week before that prisons, they can take fire. They haven't taken fire yet. Are we waiting for a child to drown or get hurt on one of these construction sites? Because it is hardly fenced at all. And anybody can walk. I walked in myself and out. Nobody even cared about it. Is that the sort of European, whatever standard you are, not European, whatever standard you said yourself, you're going to apply to Mauritius? This is the standard where all these construction sites are a huge mess. Anyone can come in and out?
Madam Speaker, the construction sites are not a huge mess. But I said we are working on 32 sites. We don't have only Van der Mesch and Berkeley. We have 30 others, Madam Speaker. We have 30 others. We are focusing on Van der Mesch, and I think we have given a lot of attention to Van der Mesch. There was this issue about trees. We had only the obligation to plant 3 times as many, but we are doing a park for 100 million rupees, and it has been clear the preliminary design is there. Madam Speaker, let me come down.
Honorable Jagru.
Let me now come. Let me come down to this issue of security. I go regularly on the Van der Mesch Street and to Berkeley. And there is something else, Madam Speaker. I we are extending the urban development of Berkeley towards Richelieu. We are extending the urban development of Berkeley towards Richelieu, so that Berkeley is no longer a cul-de-sac, madam. So we are working on all this. Now, I will pay attention to what he is saying, and I will impress on LNT. No. It's very easy to come and speak here, Madam Speaker. The honourable members, they are not the only one who go to Vendredi every day. We have many of my colleagues, they also have been asking them. I have been talking to my colleagues as well. I go there personally. No. Madam Speaker.
Order, please. Please proceed with your reply. Whether they listen or not, anybody will listen or not. Please proceed with your reply. We'll finish the question.
I will impress on LNT. I will impress on the police to consider this issue additional security.
Time is over.